There's a general assumption the early Christians lived with this really deep sense that Christ was going to return again soon. And if you think about the timeline of the events from the crucifixion to Pentecost, you can see why they'd think that way. But then Father Lawrence Farley makes this interesting observation. He says that the epistles speak of Christ's return as being imminent, that this thing that's going to happen, it's going to happen any day now. But the Gospels are careful to underscore the fact that there really is no strict timeline to all of this, and that no one really knows the day. And the other thing that Father Lawrence points out is that although in our Bibles, the Gospels come first, chronologically, the Gospels are written later than most of the epistles. So the idea here is that what's going on in the Gospels is an intentional theological clarification about the second coming. Father Lawrence writes, "It would seem that in apostolic times the Lord's return was imminent, not in the chronological sense of calendar years, but from the eschatological perspective of the ages. The Lord had been crucified, buried, risen, and ascended, and now is ready to return. His second coming was near in the sense that no great and long unfolding of civilization need occur before it could happen. The last hour had come. The last item on that divine eternal agenda of the ages had been reached." That's how Father Lawrence presents this idea about the imminence of Christ's return and how the ancient Christians understood this. And certainly it's an understanding later on, but he's saying that this goes further back than we might think. And so the Gospels give us this clarification that you have to wait, you have to be ready. As far as God's actions, as far as anything else that needs to happen, there's nothing else that needs to happen now. Everything has happened except the final step, when he shall come again in glory to judge the living and the dead. End times prophecies and all these things, they can be very distracting. It's natural for us to focus on an uncertain future because we don't like things that are uncertain. The problem with getting too distracted with the future is that we are wasting the time that we have now to get right with God and to develop communion with him. Like I've said multiple times in church, we cannot expect to enter as citizens of the kingdom of God at the end of the age unless we are already living as citizens of that kingdom now. That's the ultimate question, not when is it going to happen, but am I living out my citizenship in God's kingdom here now?